Hello,
everybody.
Welcome back to 305 Insights. We're here to talk about
Life.
liberty and the pursuit. No, never mind.
Pursuit of happiness.
So, my subject of the week is ding dong, thank God, this bleeping window is closed for this overrated team. And I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills. Because, again, we referenced it in the previous podcast where I said the Jets and the Bills are going to be a good rivalry. Division rivalry. So, I don't think the Bills are going to be that good this year. Because here's the thing. Josh Allen has been, in today's NFL, Josh Allen has been turnover prone. It's not just interceptions, it's fumbles, just the overall turnover number compared to the elites or even the top tier decent quarterbacks. Everybody used to make fun of.
Wait, Allen. Come on.
What?
That's my Shannon Sharp skill.
Oh.
Allen.
But skill.
The poor man.
Stephen A.
The poor man was putting the whole team on his back.
Who?
Josh.
With Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs.
And
what's his
OC
name?
that
No, what's his name? The tight end. Kincaid, and everything. You don't blame the OC for Lamar being mediocre in your eyes for the first 4 years of his career and not having any lack of weapons. That's Lamar's fault. You blame Tua because he's in a system because he has a great offensive coordinator as head coach. Yet somehow Josh Allen doesn't have any blame for what's going on in Buffalo. That's what you're saying. And you can blame everything falls on his shoulder.
But don't you feel that when you watch a Buffalo game, it's just Josh Allen trying to do his best to
all eyes are on Josh Allen.
Yeah, like Josh.
I don't even know. I don't even look at the running back. I know who the running back is. I don't care. We're all fixated on Josh Allen and him basically having the ability to carry the Bills every single game. And possibly single-handedly winning every single game.
But that's what I'm saying. You guys are giving all the credit when he wins, but when he loses, his team's not that good.
No. I'm not. I never said the team was not that. I never said the team was.
You guys literally said he's carrying the team on his back.
No, but that's the problem all these players. That when they do lose, we put the blame on him too because it goes both ways. If we look at him when he wins,
he does not get enough blame overall. This is a guy who's reached what?
I'd rather blame him more than when he wins.
Game?
Yeah, I think I think you're speaking out of turn here, because I think Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen gets the most blame. Externally,
I didn't say
in building.
I said he's part of the blame. I said I didn't say
in the building. I don't think so. My sources say. I'm just kidding, but from my point of view, from what I've seen, you watch ESPN, you watch all these other sports outlets, and it's all. What Josh turns over the ball too much, and then what did he do on the back end of that season? He went on a 7-game winning streak,
and then what happened? Then he lost again to his biggest rival.
Then they flicked.
And then the 1 year that his biggest rival isn't there to meet him in the NFC Championship game, or is it AFC?
Wait, is it starting over?
AFC Championship game.
It's starting over?
We're just linking it together. It was supposed to be smooth, but now it's not.
Now we got to cut it.
Anyways, moving forward. So the 1 year that the Chiefs lost, and they will go and face the Bengals, and they were a 18-point favorite? Not really, not that much, but they were the clear favorite in that game. What happened?
No, they lost.
They got bamboozled, mollywopped.
Did they? I gotta look that up. I'll look it up.
They got safely beaten that game. And of course...
And that's when Diggs... I think was that when Diggs was outside staring at them celebrate? Or no? That was the Chiefs one. That was the Chiefs one. Yeah, that was the Chiefs one.
Yeah.
But I get... I don't think the team's that bad. I think they have...
Bro, they lost Jordan Poyer, their heart and soul. Stephon Diggs, their catalyst on offense.
But you put that team on NFC, and then they're,
Okay, but
they're not. Team, but they're not. So, yeah, no, I know, but that's the thing is that the quality of the team.
They have no backup.
But they're not even they're not okay. If you're placing them in the same division as New Orleans and Tampa, yeah, sure, they'll be in the hunt because everybody in that division is in the hunt.
Yeah.
Sure. But again, the reality is they lost a few of their big pieces on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Their safety, cornerback. They kept Von Miller. You lose your two highest wide receivers.
The guy's like 50 years old.
Which now you're going into a draft that has a lot of wide receiver talent, correct? So you're
Correct,
going to get
yeah.
young, you know. So now then I would ask you this is what would change your mind as of how you're like what would be the ceiling for the team going into the next season?
Well, if you have Sean McDermott as the coach, I think the ceiling for the team is.
Want to pull up their schedule?
I want to say. Pull up their schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
because
pull up their schedule.
I'm
but go
thinking.
ahead.
I'm thinking. Okay, ceiling is obviously the highest I can go. I'm thinking 9 wins. 9 wins is their ceiling.
Which 9 wins can get you maybe a wild card.
Yeah, but you're asking me their ceiling. I don't think.
No, I know.
Wins.
But if they make the playoffs,
they're still going to lose and choke. So
with the less amount of talent, and then growing into next year
with the same talent that is not there, and then you're going to, I'm sure, cut some more people because, again, this whole cap hit with Josh Allen is going to be fun to work with for them.
But do you think that cap hit with Josh Allen is mainly the reason why they let these receivers and all these people go?
No, the Diggs thing is something completely different. But and again, I don't want to focus 100% on Josh Allen. I'm just talking about the totality of the Bills. Every year they were a Super Bowl contender. Every year, and I mean the best stretch they had was that 7-game stretch last year. In this 3-4 year window where they're still, to me, the Bills were living off of that overtime loss where they didn't get to touch the ball again.
Mm-hmm.
And then for years they lived off of that. If Josh Allen was able to, if they were able to go back and forth, we never know who would have won that game. Okay, move on. All we had to hear was, oh man, Josh Allen, he's clutch. If he was able to touch the ball, it's like, okay, well, there's another year to prove it, and another year to prove it, and another year to prove it, and he didn't. And then there's a fault on that team for not building it the right way, where they kind of go with the whole Von Miller thing. He was never a missing piece. That team didn't need another defensive end.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't need that.
That was such a waste of resources. But again, that's also the problem with the team when you have McDermott as the coach, and then he goes out, and once you lose Dable, he had good chemistry with Josh Allen. They were very productive together.
I think that's that.
Didn't Ken Dorsey left too?
Well, they opened the door and they pushed him out. But
he did produce though. That's the thing.
I'm saying he did well with Ken Dorsey as well. With Dable and Ken Dorsey.
I think you kind of hit it on the head with the Bills. I think the first move that obviously they couldn't do anything about it, but is Dable. I think them losing Dable changed
everything for them.
Everything.
Yeah.
Because Dable is a very good coach. He is a very good coach for what the production.
He's just stuck in a
bad
situation.
Coordinator.
Yeah, he's
a good coordinator.
He's a very
good coach. He's not a good head coach.
No, I think he's just stuck in a bad situation with the Giants. I think,
or he could be like what's Dad's.
Imagine you go from Josh Allen,
Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips is always an amazing defensive, but as soon as you hire him as a head coach, my God.
No, but if you really think about it, Dable went from Josh Allen to Daniel Jones. And who was Daniel Jones throwing to? And
big
who
difference
was
in skill set.
You had Barkley that was.
And then for some reason, if we want to bounce on the Giants real quick, talk about not building a team correctly.
Yes.
It's you have all these, not weapons, but you had Barkley, you had a few guys at wide receiver that weren't amazing.
Evan Ingram.
Okay, not to knock anything off Daniel Jones, but he's like a poor man's version of Josh Allen. He has the tools to be a Josh Allen, but he just doesn't utilize them to his potential.
I think
because he has the legs to run, to scramble. He has the arm strength. His arm strength is actually really legit, but I think he's just
Danny Dime.
But this is one of those things.
He doesn't believe in himself to be that player.
Well, would you believe in yourself after the years that he went through?
But it's also one of those things. I think we've talked about this in the past in the podcast. Where, I mean, can Daniel Jones be a top 15 quarterback in the right situation?
Hypothetically, yes.
Yes, but the problem is like what we talk about, where these Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, all these people are put in these situations that don't really, and that's the nature of the NFL. Your team sucks, you're going to get a good pick. Ideally, you pick a quarterback to help you out. But again, when
is quarterback really the issue of why your organization's not working, or is the organization itself that's not?
But that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. Like you get Daniel Jones. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We can cut. Again, not that he's a great wide receiver.
It's like the Raiders organization. Like their office has been in shambles just for years now, and they can't find a head coach that can properly run a team. They can't find the personnel, the correct personnel. Like it's like their scouting department is oblivious to drafting the right people.
One of these podcasts, now that you say that, Miguel, one of these podcasts I should bring up that the period of Gruden and Mayock, how many draft picks they wasted over a how long Mayock was there for, 4-year span. And it's like they're like 1 through, I think it's either second or third round picks. How many of them were out of, not even on the team, out of the NFL? After 3 or 4 years.
In hindsight, the picks were good on paper, but then they didn't do their research. They didn't do their follow up with those players.
Well, not all
on their history or their tendencies, or are they a good fit? Are they a good work ethic? It's like Raiders as an example, compared to the Giants. These organizations, there's just no structure. There's no plan in their future. They're just aimlessly playing year to year, trying to make something work.
I'm going to apply to work for them. See if I get a job. I mean, if they're doing that, I mean,
Vegas, baby.
No, but I do have the schedule. First game is Arizona, and they're playing at
Arizona.
No, they're playing at Bills.
At the Bills.
Okay,
Bills should win. Should win that one.
They count, right?
I know. I'm saying it should win because if they get Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean.
Okay, but I
think... So then let's not talk about the draft because the Bills are they have to draft a wide receiver the first round. The Bills, if they want to be prevalent.
If I'm a betting man, I bet the Bills win that game.
Yes.
At home.
Depends on the spread.
At home.
Okay, go.
So then Baltimore
lost.
So right now we're 1-1.
Okay.
Detroit.
Lost.
At Detroit.
Doesn't matter. Lost.
1-2. So Dan Campbell beats him. Got it.
Yeah. It's not just Dan, it's the actual team. But okay.
Houston.
Lost.
1-4. Colts. At Indy.
That's a win for now. It's a win for now because
it depends how Anthony Richardson.
I know, but we've only seen him for 2 games.
It depends how he is in spring training.
I don't believe it. I think Bills win that game. I think they're right now 2-4.
I need to see it first from the Colts.
Then we got the Rams.
That's
at LA. If that makes any difference, because that.
No, Aaron Donald. I think just the whole Aaron Donald thing just.
I think Bills win that game.
Changes the Rams' defense. I don't know. Man.
I think Bills. I think Bills.
I think Bills win that game.
I think LA wins that game
because they're gonna get outcoached.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then that's when you start. The seat gets hot. The seat's getting hot.
Because I know they don't have.
There's going to be some firings.
I know they don't have Aaron Donald, but you still have Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp. You've got enough weapons on
the rookie.
Puka
Nakul.
Yeah, you've got.
I don't know if that's his name. It just sounded right.
Close enough.
Puka Nakul.
Something like that.
That guy was a monster.
They got
my apologies if he's listening. So. Yeah. All right. Then we got Miami.
That's a loss.
At Miami. That's a loss. So right now, technically. They're 2-6.
Hot take: Buffalo Bills, last place in the AFC.
Then at New England, they win. So 3-6. Jets at Jets.
Loss.
3-7. Seattle.
Loss.
At Seattle.
Loss.
Oh, that's a loss.
That's a loss.
So now what?
3-8.
3-8?
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Loss. At Jacksonville?
No.
Yeah.
I know.
That's a 50-50.
I'll give them one.
I'll give them one.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
4-8. So KC
Loss. Even though they did
4-9.
they did beat them in the regular season last year. Oh, but that's
Miami
with Diggs.
Loss.
4-10.
They lose to Miami twice next year.
New England
Win.
Oh, 5-10. Jets at Jet.
Loss.
No, at Bills. At Bills
Loss.
in December.
Loss.
Still lost. Aaron Rodgers used to play in the cold.
5-11. San Fran.
Lost.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
They get
5-12.
Damn, they're not gonna be 5.
Wait, 5.
Wait, did I say the Rams? I could get. Wait,
1,
You
2,
can give them the
3,
Rams.
4, 5. That's 17. It's
Yeah.
18 game.
it's a 17-game season.
Oh, so I miscounted because I said 5-12, so it must be 4-12.
There's my
It's a
hot take
17
that they're
game
gonna
season. What's
fall
5
in
plus
last
12?
place.
Well, no, there's Tennessee left.
My
Oh,
hot take.
that's a win.
No one goes
So we have
to
6
third.
wins.
Yeah,
6 wins.
6-11.
You know what? It really intrigues me. Now I want to look up the Patriots.
I'm telling you, they're gonna finish ahead, if not the same as.
All right, we'll do that
Buffalo.
in your discussion. We
I'm
gotta get
telling
back to
you, man.
get back to my thing.
No, but I do see your point. I feel that
I'm talking about the overall window for the Bills, how overrated they were in the past 4 or 5 years or whatever, where every year it was going to be their year, and they reached one championship game, and everybody harps on Lamar Jackson and his failures in the playoffs, and how much better has Josh Allen been?
So if you had a pie chart, then I would ask you, if you had like a pie chart, right? What percentage would you give to the failure of that window, to the front office, to the coaching, and then to the players? Because
For the totality, because I think for the first few years, it was a really well-built team. If you think,
and this is prior to D-ball, right? Dayball.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Dayball
because
leaving.
I'm trying to think of the
Because I think the
totality of your
window-
question.
Because I'm thinking the
Yeah.
window that
Because the first half was really good, where they had
when is the first half? Because I'm trying to figure out the timeline of when they started getting these expectations. Because I think they got these expectations once they had that one successful year with Dayball, and then Dayball left, and then that's when the window really. That's when
but when you're saying front office, I'm thinking of like, once to me it's like once they added Diggs, and it
Okay.
became that whole thing,
Okay.
and then you saw them, they had that core talent, and then you drafted Ed Oliver, Gregory Russo, I believe, from UM. You had some good picks on defense. You had that middle linebacker. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the linebacker was good.
Milano.
Yeah, you had this. You had Pryor as a safety for a few years.
Yeah.
You had the cornerback, Jadarius White.
Yeah.
You had those guys, and then let's say, okay, let's get some things on. We got Gabe Davis. Let's draft James Cook.
Picking up people that, like, for example, that were on our squad. That D tackle that they have. I think it was from UM too. Philip? No, not was it
Phillips was no, wait, I don't know if he was from UM, right? But
Yeah.
isn't the guy that we had one good year with us, and then he went?
Yes, and then he went to Buffalo, and
Yeah.
he was successful there.
Yeah, so they did have good spurts, but once they started pushing for like, okay, let's spend a ridiculous amount of money on Von Miller and stuff like that, their resources, like how we're talking about, like the first few years, okay, we got these bits and pieces here. Now they start going for the big fish. It's like, why sign Stephon Diggs to an extension? Was it last year or the year before?
Mm-hmm.
Like a massive extension when you knew there was kind of a rift between him and Josh Allen.
Well, that's
And
allegedly.
And
That
now,
was allegedly.
I don't think it's allegedly, because you don't take a $31 million cap hit on an alleged rift between your quarterback.
Well, it was alleged.
So,
They said there was no beef.
I mean, Diggs isn't going to say that because he made him. So,
Dang.
we'll see this year.
No, but
we'll see this year.
I will say I think the downfall of the Bills, was when Dayball left. I think that after that happened, it was now you're trying to rekindle a relationship with a guy, with Josh Allen, that had such a good chemistry with that OC. Then it was just, I think it never clicked with him and Dorsey.
It's just for me.
And then the guy that came in afterwards allowed Josh to be Josh, which, if you look at it, the way that Diggs ended the season statistically wasn't amazing. Now, yes, he got a whole bunch of targets. Like, yeah, he did get some catches, but the playbook that you see, the playbook that Josh Allen reminds me a lot of. It's more of an athletic version of Big Ben.
Yeah, but the problem is when you say it lets Josh be Josh, I would strongly disagree in the sense that you saw how much they were running the ball in the second half. Well, once Dorsey left, how much they were leaning away from actually letting Josh Allen do his free
Mhm.
reign and stuff like that. And we talked about this in a podcast a few months ago where I said the game plan was clear in their playoff game against the Chiefs. They were kind of reining Josh Allen in.
Mhm.
And to me, that's an extension of why I think he is overrated in the sense of if he is this elite quarterback that everybody puts him in the top five, why do you have a game plan where it reins him in? And essentially, it's kind of controlling the chaos of making sure he doesn't go out of threat because you trust certain people to do it. Obviously, we can't keep on saying Patrick Mahomes because it's honestly unfair to compare everybody to Patrick Mahomes. But even like,
But you also got to give Patrick Mahomes his credit of when he takes what the defense gives him. He knows when to take a shot. He understands moments, I would say, and that's why he's so good at taking care of the ball. Now, I'd ask you guys, both of you guys, if you're gonna play the Bills, and you're a defensive coordinator, what's the one thing that you got to do?
stop the run.
Stop Josh
Stop the
Allen.
run and stop Josh Allen, or keep him off the field.
Because there was a game down here, right, where
QB contain him
they
on
made him
defense.
pass the ball like 56 times.
Run a QB spy every single time.
And we still won the game.
Yeah, but those passes were not you it's one of those like boom or bust type of things with Josh Allen, that if you just let Josh Allen go underneath, it's a matter of time before he forces something. That's always been Josh Allen. Because at the same time too, when you have such a play calling and such a scheme that's like, hey Josh Allen, here you go, do your thing, it's easier to like, you're just waiting for him to mess up, because out of those 50 throws, you're bound to mess up. You're not gonna hit 100% on those completions. It's mistake-free football, but when you have so many attempts, eventually it's gonna end up happening. And when you don't lean on the run game, and I think that's why you kind of alluded to it before, when you start using other weapons, it takes that stress and takes that pressure off of them. And that's why it goes back into that pie chart that I asked you. What's the percentage of each one? Because
this is the problem.
I think it's not the players.
When you're talking about pie charts, we never discuss that when it's the Baltimore Ravens. Everything falls on Lamar Jackson and the MVP and how much money he's getting. That's my problem when I'm saying that. Whenever us three have the discussion, we always say, like, I don't say it because I defend Lamar, but the discussion is like, oh, Lamar's got to be better. Lamar's got to be better. Why is it that? And the same thing can be applied to Dak Prescott. Tell me what's the difference between the Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense and their expectations as a team overall versus the Buffalo Bills. It's the same thing. Dak Prescott produces great numbers in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And then he may win one game, but they never reached the NFC Championship. Well, they did 1 year against the 49ers.
But it's not one single person's problem, though. It's who do you put at blame? Because
but who gets all the blame in Dallas, or who gets most of it? I mean, they don't like McCarthy, but for the most part, over the past 4 or 5, 6 years, who gets the most blame?
Dak.
Yeah, but yet when you go to Buffalo, nobody in the Bills Mafia, and for the most part in the media world, are saying, you know what, Josh Allen might be the problem. And again, me saying he might be the problem might be too strong. But what I'm saying is you can't start adding and subtracting things and then just everybody going, we can't fix this team. And Josh Allen gets by scot-free every single year for not producing in the playoffs.
But then it also depends on how you look at it as like going into the playoffs, because there's so many. That's the beauty of football, that there's so many factors that have to fall in place. And there's many times that you see instances that the players are outstanding, but then the coaching staff or the front office is holding them back, or it's the other way around, that the players are not that good, but the coaching staff is making the most out of their personnel. you understand what I'm saying by that? Because, for example, you look at the Patriots, right? Patriots never had any type of resources. They had guys that were trying to prove themselves and then end up getting to the playoffs, and those players are coached up to be successful. I think where the Bills are falling off is that I put the blame more on the coaching staff than the players in the argument of what you're saying. I think that window that they had, I think it was more on the coaching staff, not looking at themselves and saying, what's our best assets of what we can do for our team. It was a lot of Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback. We have this guy, a franchise guy. We need to make sure that this guy is producing and this guy is going to win the games for us. But in actuality, when you put so much weight on one position, it doesn't allow.
But again, you're making this is the whole thing when you're saying like you're kind of excusing Josh Allen. Every team is like this though. You're putting all the weight on the shoulders of a quarterback.
Well, they're doing that. They were doing that to Lamar in Baltimore, and then all of a sudden they realize, you know what? Let's help him out, and then he goes and has an MVP season.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Lamar for 4, 5, 6 years, everything was his fault. Mm-hmm. The playoff shortcomings was his fault because they produced in the regular season. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying the same thing has happened with the Buffalo Bills.
And Josh Allen's only had one losing season, I believe, as a quarterback.
Is it?
I think it's his rookie year. And his rookie year, he brought. Remember that franchise was terrible. Like,
what are you talking about? Drew Bledsoe, Peerless Price, Eric Moulds. Stop it. 4 falls of Buffalo. They went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
There was a time.
Do you mean other teams gone to 4 straight Super Bowls?
There was a time that the Bills were always 2 wins, 2 W's for the Dolphins. There was a time that the Bills were worse than the Dolphins. And then once they got Josh Allen, you can't sit there and tell me that once they got Josh Allen, that franchise didn't turn around.
Okay, same thing's happened with the Dolphins and Tua.
Okay,
no, but I'm going back to your argument of what you just said about Lamar.
What?
That the Bills found something. They brought in resources like Diggs. They had that relationship with the coaches. Then all of a sudden they lost that coach.
And what did that get them? One championship appearance? Not even a win. They didn't even get to the Super Bowl.
I mean, at this point, depending how their season goes, it's going to be not only Josh Allen's fault, but also McDermott's fault, based on how he coaches the team this year. Based on how he coached the team last year, I think he's on a hot seat off rip.
I'm 100% with you. I think this is McDermott's last year in Buffalo.
It would be the right move. It would be the right move.
There's always been an argument in between. There's always that thing where it's like the regular season play and the postseason play. Doesn't matter how you're doing in the regular season as long as you get the good record and you get into the postseason. Mm-hmm. And what matters is how you coach and how you play in the postseason. And McDermott's not it. I'm sorry. Like, you've had this connection with Josh Allen for how long? It's been 3 or 4 years now since you've drafted him.
No, it's been longer than that.
Or longer than that. But my point is that we can put a lot of blame on Josh Allen, that the wins and the losses that he's had and his performances, and now even more so that he's lost Diggs, and now they might have to draft a wide receiver in the first round that they normally do not do as a team. But we kind of have to look at McDermott. We cannot kind of just push him to the side and say it's all on Josh Allen, because without Josh Allen, you got to have a coordinator and you got to have Dermott. So in my opinion, I think Dermott's on the hot seat right off rip next year. And depending how they do, he's gone. So that's my input in all of this.
So I guess to conclude this segment, I would say that at the end of this season, if I was a betting man,
brought to you by
after the rebuild that they're doing now, because clearly it's a rebuild. The only thing that they got going on for themselves is that they got Josh Allen. It's a rebuild year, and Dermott is going to get fired, and then they're going to bring in a whole new coaching staff to build off of what they've already drafted or what they have inside.
Realistically speaking, that would be the route that they have to go.
Okay, so real quick then, for the last few minutes.
Okay.
Who would be an ideal coaching candidate? I'll throw a name out there. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the name right, but guy from Detroit, Ben Johnson.
Ah,
Do you
Oh.
do that where you
That's a
try
good
and get the new guy to infuse
Young.
something, or do you
Young.
go like, hey, Bill Belichick, we want you over here because we had the
can't take
QB, we had the
They
QB,
can't take Bill.
and I just don't understand why Bill doesn't have a job. I understand that he probably wants a power play and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, if you have
think
a
that
team,
guy, you think that guy connects with the generation that's coming up?
no,
There you go. That's why.
but you think an owner cares about that?
Yeah.
The right look, you talk about like let's say. I'm trying to think of an old owner.
Look at
I don't really know
all the coaches that you're getting nowadays. All these young OCs.
Who's the coach of Washington? Dan Quinn.
It is Dan Quinn.
Yeah,
Dan Quinn.
that's a really young guy.
Oh, and the
right there,
OC,
though.
and who's the OC there?
A bum.
Yeah, I know he's terrible. I don't know how he got that job.
That guy fails up so many times.
I don't understand how that guy.
And I used to love watching Texas Tech, but Cliff Kingsbury, like I don't know.
I don't understand.
He trips and he ends up on like the penthouse suite for some reason.
Wow, what? But no, what I'm saying is that you can tell that there's a culture shift of where coaches are.
Okay, so real quick, besides Ben Johnson, like who do you think? I mean, that's the only guy I can think of off the top of my head.
That's a great one. I like that one.
Because I'm trying to think of offensive minded because again, not everybody's going to do the Houston Texans where they hire Ryans and go for a defensive minded coach.
Jeff Fisher.
Jesus Christ! You got anybody
No,
else top of your head or no?
Jeff Fisher.
The best 7-8 coach I've ever.
He can't coach because he can't go 8-8 anymore. 8-8, 7-9. So there's no point in him coaching.
That's a very good question.
Oh, do I have?
I didn't want to like peak with the first suggestion, but
Pete Carroll.
no. But like, if you tell me that's what's going to happen with the Bills, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable. I feel a little more comfortable with their future moving forward because that shows that they're going to start getting on the same page. Where listen, McDermott, we gave you a shot, and now we actually have a reason to fire you because. I mean, like Miguel said, that guy's been a mid coach for a while, but
I do like that. I think you did peak. That was
I didn't mean to do that, my bad.
Yeah,
I ruined the flow of the conversation.
No, but that's a good because I don't think he stays there
because he didn't take a lot of jobs this year.
He didn't,
and it's one of those things where it was Atlanta, which isn't a terrible. Guys. It's not a terrible job. Atlanta's not a terrible job. Washington really not that good.
No,
I think Brian Johnson.
What? Who's that?
You said head coach. I think Brian Johnson. He's the offensive coordinator for Philly, QB coach.
Well, if they have a good year, I mean, you just got to see it again from Philly. Like the problem is there was such a sour note last year that was just like.
Yeah, but I think that also might be a good one too because I think the guys lost the locker room.
We'll talk about that in another podcast. Yeah. That wraps up my segment, boys, and. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm not going to do this like, subscribe stuff because I do it at the beginning, so everybody else can do that at their end. So thanks for stopping by, folks. It's like Anchorman. I don't know. Have a good one, everyone.